series, Meraki Meets. But as I say to people, I just love to bring, real like influencer people, people that are startups, people that are established, people that are thought leaders, just to the platform. Number one, to make sure that they experience it themselves, going live and using video and, using all these, social media platform tools. But two, to inspire others, and we can learn from each other and support each other. So I suppose to give the benefit to everybody that tunes in, and believe you me, it's amazing the number of people that eventually, tune in throughout the world. And I would love you to be able to tell us a bit about the book centre, in Waterford, Wexford, Naas, and in Kilkenny. And I can't believe it. So how did it all start?
Yeah, well, the book centre started by my parents in Waterford in 1971. So the very first shop was up on Michael Street in Waterford. Then they opened in Kilkenny, they opened in Wexford, and Naas was the last shop to open. And there, about 20 odd years ago, they moved down to where it is now on 25 John Roberts Square, which is an old Art Deco cinema. So you were asking about the building, so that's what that was, an old Art Deco cinema. So yeah, so it's a bookshop predominantly. We would pride ourselves on being one of the best bookshops in the country, but we would also have a cafe in all our shops, and we would sell a lot of gifts and cards and stationery, school books, magazines, Leonidas Belgian chocolates. I'm probably missing something, I'm not sure, but yeah. So they're big. All our shops are they're big shops. We employ 100 people altogether.
And in my thought, because obviously I am obviously not I'm a native, or I'm a citizen of Waterford. I'm not a native of Waterford, but anytime, any family member, it is particularly the Waterford one, and anytime I'm in a city or a town, it's so, as a family trip, we tend to kind of go to, whenever you're doing your staycations or you're doing your weekend aways, you go to the kind of the local town centres, and you're drawn to, we say, the cathedrals that are either the libraries, the bookshops, the museums. So for me, the Waterford is just, it's so central to the community. And that's how, as I thought, at Christmas time, everybody gathers in, like they gather nearly in a pub. They gather in the
it's a place to meet. Yeah, we're always the meeting place. In all our towns, we're the meeting place, which is great. Yeah, absolutely. For all ages, which is fantastic.
For all age groups. And all the most, like really significant people that you bump into. And last year was really good. This year I just fell off the wagon a bit, and I said I'm going to read all through the COVID and through
I think everybody had great intentions of reading all sorts of books during lockdown, and I don't know about you, but I was massively busy with work, so I didn't. All my self-help books and all my business books.
Yeah, what did they say?
But there,
the shoemaker's child is always barefoot.
Right. Yeah.
But come here, I actually used to, I say, for my youngest lad, that is like the go-to place, where we, because you have a beautiful, book section, and it's just where I feel that I can go either grab my coffee, wander around looking at when I would love to cook someday, or buying books for my husband who does cook. Or I actually stand, well, I know I'm a chatty person anyway, so I stand, and there's women that are looking at, the best, the top 10, or your team's recommends books, the lists and that, and I'd be asking people, was that a good read? And people actually I miss that so much. I miss the browsing, all of that, and I know I need to get more into the habit of it, back into it myself again. But I just think that, it's central to it all, and it is, or was, as you said, 71, I'm not good at, that many years ago, a traditional shop, a traditional bookshop. And then, yous are all online, because I know through the COVID I did order, the Diary of the Wimpy Kid books, and, David Williams. I kept saying David McWilliams, The Economist. And I saw
lots of people do, different with The Economist.
No, we didn't want it. But it was lovely. And actually, when we did get books, we always used to get the Leonidas, chocolates.
Okay,
And then I have the chocolates, and he'd start into the books, that was our routine. But, as how have you obviously, moved into web obviously buying online.
Well, actually, we went online originally about 10 years ago, when we started with school books.
Okay.
And we were a little bit, in fairness to my dad, we were a little bit of ahead of our time, where we wanted to put the school book list for each school, first of all in Waterford, and then in our four towns, and then in the country. We were trying to get them all up so people would just have one click and buy the books. So that was how we started off, first of all. So school books were always our major kind of target market for the people who are looking for school books and stationery on the website. We need to do it for the rest of it for now, and back then we really didn't need to do it, I suppose, but then over the last couple of years, we said, right, we better start getting on with this internet business. This is obviously the big business, the way to go. So in the last couple of years, actually, sorry, school books were probably more than 10 years ago. It's probably a good 15, 20 years ago maybe. And then probably about 10 years ago, started putting on our ordinary books, everyday books onto our website. And, changing our website, we redid it all together there a couple of years ago and upgraded it. And we've kind of it's been a work in progress for the last number of years, really, where we've kind of constantly been updating it and constantly kind of, adding products and making sure it looks good, and, all the things you do to keep improving the website. But it was never a massive part of our business. Our focus was always the customer service inside the shops, the browsing, the atmosphere. That's what the book centre is synonymous for,
Yeah.
And then obviously lockdown came and we had to close our shops. So we had no choice but to service everybody on our website. We did a click and collect in all 4 shops, which was fantastic. So you could either pick up the phone and ring in and come and collect it, or go onto the website, order it and come and collect it, or have it delivered. So it was a godsend, really, to be honest with you. We did the collection in the 4 shops for the amount of time that it was allowed, and then they stopped that as well. So we literally only had the website going where everybody was inside behind locked doors at a social distance, fulfilling orders and posting them all out. So yeah, we had to quickly gather ourselves and get together and start making improvements on the website as well, while also and adding more and more products, and whilst getting all the orders out as well. So yeah, there was a huge team inside who were just amazing. They just were fantastic over lockdown. They worked so hard. They were brilliant, I have to say.
How many in all the shops you have? Because there they are now, all in lovely cities in Waterford and South East, and Waterford, Kilkenny, and Naas and Wexford. How many staff have you in the whole?
We have approximately 100.
Oh,
I think it's 97, 98, about that, yeah.
And you have some long-serving staff, which I just think is just the most fantastic, like a real expert.
Yeah, some of them are there. I mean, God, over 20 years, so it's fantastic. Everybody, I mean, thank God we're like, one big family. I mean, at least I think everybody loves it. Everybody enjoys working there, which is so important, to enjoy what you do. So, I mean, they all work really, really hard. We have a fantastic team, fantastic management team, fantastic staff. They're brilliant, they really are. So they enjoy working together as well. And, everybody just pulled together during lockdown, and everybody just worked really hard to give the customers what they were looking for, But we're back open now, thank God. And we just encourage everybody to come in. We're doing all the safety things that we're supposed to be doing, Nuala, and we are really big shops, which is really good, because no matter, obviously we count the amount of people coming in and that sort of thing, but there's plenty of space for people, so we're very, very safe.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you are absolutely, because a real treat is always, for me, would have been the September Vogue, that type of visit to buy, and it would have been, you go to the coffee, and then you're kind of browsing and you're just chilling, and you're just it's a real treat. I just love that experience. I love the fact that I can take my son to choose a book, and I can kind of wander around and let him look at all the types of books that are there, and see as he gradually he decides to and try to encourage him, and books that maybe will help him more than but just out of curiosity, each branch that you have, do you buy for that particular location, or how do you buy your books and source your books, and what way does that work?
We would have central buyers, so we would have a central book buyer and a central children's book buyer, and we would have a central gift buyer. So everything new would be bought by the manager of that, basically, and they would then all reorders would be done by the individual shop. Sorry, yeah. So initial orders would be done centrally, and then after that, then anything local or anything that would be reordered from sales would be bought by the individual shop then, you know. So we would encourage a lot of local books and local cards and, you know, local art, that sort of thing. So they would come into the individual managers. Each shop would have a manager, and then they would chat to me about it, and we'd look at it and see, you know, was the quality good enough for us, and, you know, all that sort of thing. But we would encourage as much as we could to sell local, not only books but local produce in general.
Well, actually, yeah, that was something that I was going to say to you, is that, you know, you've come to my attention many times where we've been to book launches of, you know, history books based in Waterford, and, you know, loads of events that have gone on within, we say, the local, where I'm from, obviously, is Waterford, that is really that kind of community, the sense a school doing some type of a launch or fundraising for Jack and Jill foundations and auctions, and you've really brought the community into the book centre, and I love that. And actually recently there I saw, was it something about the wellness events that you were, you know, with poetry readings and that within the Waterford one, and just either out of that, you know, obviously with recent, you know, lockdown now where we're kind of in our counties as such, the restrictions, how has that impacted, you know, you, or what have you
unfortunately, I mean, events and local authors were are a huge part of our business, and huge in all the 4 shops, but unfortunately we've had to stop all of them, you know. So you'd miss the people coming in for the events, you miss the authors coming in doing their readings or their signings, you know, because local authors are fantastic coming in and meeting and greeting and signing and that sort of thing, and authors from around Ireland as well would often come in, but unfortunately for now we can't do them. We have had the odd author come into, you know, the local authors into some of the shops to just sign a couple of books, but they would do it, you know, behind the closed doors or when the shops are quiet, where they just kind of nip in and do it for us. So we have the books signed, but no, we can't unfortunately have any events for now. But, you know, as soon as we're allowed to have them, we'll be back again, you know.
And then just how, as you, as CEO, operating, you know, and trying to visit your teams. Like you're restricted, or because it's a necessity?
Yeah, no, I am. I haven't. The only shop I've been into is Waterford. I haven't visited the other shops at all, you know. So, unfortunately, a couple of times there, I went to visit one, and then it was, you know, something else came down, or new initiative, you know, that I couldn't actually go to see them. I mean, I could type up a letter and say I had to go for work, but, you know, we're trying to be really, really safe. All the central people that don't need to be working in the offices in the shops are not going in, because really, you know, the more you meet people, obviously, as everybody knows, that the more risk you're at. So, you know, we've all said as much as we possibly can that we will all work from home and only go in under necessity. We do have you know, central deliveries that need to be done, but again, you know, it's reduced meeting of people. We're not, you know, managers, we haven't met up. We've missed all our management meetings. They've all been on Zoom. Anytime I talk to the managers or the staff, it's either on the phone or Zoom has been great over lockdown as well, you know. But no, unfortunately, we've all just had to talk to each other like this on the phone, you know.
Yeah. And has it, like, say, even now in the last few days since everything went official and we're in the county, have you noticed, particularly with Waterford, that they're seeing that kind of footfall reduced within the city, or
Funnily enough, Monday was a really busy day because the announcement came Monday evening, I think, and I think a few people were panic buying on Monday, so we actually had a great busy day on Monday. And then it didn't. What are we today? Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday have been okay. They weren't dramatically more quiet. I think people are very conscious of, you know, we are really, really good inside, and all our shops are being really safe and really clean. And, you know, I think people realise that, and we're also a large, spacious shop. So I think people are kind of happy enough to come into us, you know. Look, it wouldn't be anything as busy as it would have been this time last year, unfortunately. But I do think people are getting ready for the big C word, for Christmas, earlier than they normally would. We wouldn't dream of having Christmas things out any other year, but this year I've said to the lads, look, get things out. If people want to come in, get their bits early so that they don't have to worry about the crowds in December. You know, so that's encouraging people to come in as well.
Yeah. And actually, just out of curiosity, you know, I know Christmas and Christmas gift buying, and, you know, buying vouchers and, you know, buying online vouchers are really clever idea now. I think I know myself, because
Yeah.
you know, I can ask for a gift in that way. I can use it, you know, within the books, and choose whenever I need to.
Yeah. And you can use it online as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What have you found, even of late, in the last 6-7 months now, have been really popular books that people have been buying? There's been a demand, or a kind of increased demand. What type of book?
No, not in anywhere in particular, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, it's like we would have always done a big business in special orders, because we would specialize in getting particular books for people who would request it. So we would continue to do that, and we would have had a lot of emails over lockdown with people, you know, researching on the web or whatever, looking for particular titles. They'd come to us, we'd order them in, you know. Other than that, obviously, all the local books are always huge for us for Christmas, all the, you know, so nothing due to lockdown, nothing in particular. I know people are buying probably a little bit more self-help books, that sort of thing, but to be honest, we've kind of always sold those. We've always had a big selection of mind, body, spirit books, and cookery books and sports books. There's a huge amount of new releases out in the last month, because there was a delay over lockdown, so a lot of books didn't get released. So there's a huge amount of new releases out at the moment, which is fantastic. So lots of new titles for Christmas, you know.
Well, actually, funny, yeah, because I've seen a lot of, you know, she's a very famous author and kind of celebrity, married to, it's Hot Potatoes or Hot Potatoes. She's released her book. I can't remember her name, but she's released a book kind of a story of her life, and she's a really famous author in the UK. And yeah, it's like, because obviously I would discover books that I think, okay, this is, you know, from huge different sources. My sister might recommend one to me. I might see one on Instagram that, you know, one of the like local people I've just been reading. And
the weekend papers are huge at making, you know, recommendations as well, and all our lads would, you know, scour those every Sunday and every Monday morning, make sure that they had all of them in, you know. So yeah, that sort of thing is great. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I do see that obviously you're, you know, within the shop, you know, your team are great at recommending like the books that they have read, and I always loved that. Even the children's sections, and you know, even in the young adult, you know, the young adolescent section, which is really gorgeous as well. That, you know, that allows people, you know, it's just so lovely that the idea that you can browse, because well, the wonderful thing about going into the bookshops is that there's that immediate self-gratification. You know, I want to buy.
Yeah, you feel good.
And it feels kind of good. I feel like, you know, and for me, I tend to kind of read the first chapter to try to, or get, you know, I need others' opinion to say, listen, check, you know. So I'm not kind of really one author. I like.
Oh no, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. I go from recommendations from the lads as well, to be honest with you, you know, and I go from one kind of genre to another. So I think we're all the same, looking for something a bit different.
Yeah. And it is, because there was I think I mentioned it in the text when I was putting it on, that book centres, prior to all this in 2019, they said the Bookseller Association of the UK and Ireland had mentioned in an article that they, like the third year in succession, that they've kind of grown, you know, because there's obviously this movement to people have a place for Kindle or their electronic devices, and they have a place for the book, and they have a place for listening. And I think that's, you know, and do you find that you know, for yourselves up until now, that you have, you know, have been doing quite well, or what was it like?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely, we really are. I mean, books saw a big upsurgence there about maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe. Like, you know, we had the recession, and people said, the Kindle is here now, the end of the bookshops, all that sort of thing. But really, people have gotten back into reading. People have gotten back into to realizing the importance of their mental health and taking time for themselves, whether it be sitting with a glass of wine and a book in a bath, or sitting by the fire with treats and a book. But reading does, it's so important for people's mental health and for their time to themselves. And I do think people have kind of gotten back into realizing how important reading is, and how it gets your brain away from social media and from working on your phone, or especially when a lot of us are working from home, there's no switch off time, you know, so you kind of have to put away all the gadgets, and, you know, you can pick up your book, and it's, you know, it's just time away, de-stress. And I think a lot of people have realized that over the last couple of years, and especially over the last couple of months, you know. So definitely books are on the up and up. You know, they're definitely they're doing really well. And also, I suppose, you know, as a treat for yourself, it's not an expensive treat. No, you know, it's not better value than buying a dress you might never wear, you know.
And you know, and actually, it's funny because I know that obviously I'm so, like all of us now, I've become much more conscious as citizens, you know, in how can we become more sustainable and share the book, gift the book, you know,
absolutely.
The book. So there's such a, you know, it is such a, you know, an opportunity. But I know that my sister has gifted me that. Well, she hasn't gifted me. I have to give it back to her actually. Yeah. To one of the becoming, you know, with Obama,
Michelle Obama's
book. So but I have like 3 books on the go. So I am, you know, I go to the library. Because I love the local library as well. Yeah. I love the idea of just going into these kind of beautiful places, and I just love the whole experiences of them, and I just love the sense that, you know, you feel that, you know, no one's gonna, I don't know, whatever it is, no one's gonna check on you going, you know, that way you just feel you're kind of welcome.
You're in your own time, in your own space. Absolutely.
I just love that, and that's why I love that. I feel myself, like, obviously as a die-hard retailer, you know, to the core, I know that there's a place both digitally and traditionally, you know, and it's about, you know, I suppose because I know you make such an effort with the theatre, you know, I think was it Brian Tuberty always talks and raves about
Ryan Tuberty. He's brilliant. He's great at mentioning us. He loves our shop. He was down. He did his show. Actually, I was only in the business a couple of years, and he did his radio show one morning down in our Well area in Waterford, and it was fantastic. And he is such a nice gentleman. He really is. You know, so he is fantastic at giving us plugs on his radio shows. You know, he really is. He's always talking about us, which is brilliant. It's great. Yeah, he's a big reader. He's an avid reader, so he really does like our shops. Thank God. Thanks, Ryan.
And encourages young children to read. Children to read. Like, he brought out a book himself. Actually, he should have got, well, eventually maybe he'll do his book tour again. But actually, whenever I mention children, you had a really lovely. I think she's a speech and language therapist. I was watching it on Instagram.
Rachel Kidd. Yes, she was brilliant. Yeah.
That was so. You know, and that's I had read just in my research there that it was that the movement towards reading books, if we're to look at you know, the Windsors, is it the Windsors I'm thinking of, the Windsor family, Meghan and Harry, and how they're reading to their own child in the books and all of that. That's so popular among millennial and Gen Z. The digital devices are the older.
They're going back the other way again. Yeah. Isn't
it just
absolutely fantastic?
I thought it was lovely that, you know, speech and language, she was giving tips and using your, again, that's you as a great, you know, entrepreneurs and giving to the community and helping people as well, and that giving that platform for her to share the books that she loves.
Oh, look, as I said to Rachel, it was mutually beneficial. It was fantastic for her to have a speech and language expert, you know, promoting reading for children and promoting the book centre, you know, so it was great that, and, you know, she benefited as well from, you know, so it really worked well for us. And she's actually going to do another one now. She did a series of 4 there for us, so you'll see it on our Facebook and Instagram. It's also on our website. And she's going to do another one now towards the end of October as well. So that will be on all our social media, and we put it up onto our website as well. So it's fantastic for us. It really is. It's brilliant. I mean, Rachel is a great speech and language therapist, and, you know, she loves the kids' books in our shop and everything. So she's, you know, she's picking the books and we're getting them in for her. And, you know, she's then showing parents how this will benefit the speech of their child, you know, in a nice, nice, not educational but playful way for the child, you know.
And now obviously Christmas is coming and the kids are all excited, because when I think of the, you know, the centre that is within Waterford, that usually where the lights are switched on and Santa would visit, and we have Winterfell all still happening in Waterford.
Well, we still have Winterfell, absolutely, and we're designing the Christmas catalogue at the moment, so that is being done by Mag at the moment, and she's nearly finished designing the Christmas catalogue. So we're going to probably print out a few Christmas catalogues for the book centre this year, but we're going to really push the digital online catalogue as well this year, you know. So it's Christmas is all
It's all,
happening.
is it exclusively books, or either in gift or otherwise? You know, is there any changes you've made?
Yeah, well, we had introduced, I don't know, did you come across, we had introduced this time last year probably the Book Professor, which I don't know, would you come across that, Nuala? It is it's a gift that you buy. Well, we started off the Book Professor as children, for children only, where you would buy, it's basically you would buy time with our children's book expert, the Book Professor, but you get it in a lovely gift box, and you make an appointment then, and the child will meet with our Book Professor and spend an hour with the Book Professor and get a treat and a hot chocolate and a chat, and then there's a voucher for books as well, and that. So we introduced that this time last year, and we also introduced then over the last couple of months a magazine subscription, where you can buy a subscription for somebody for birthday, Christmas, or for whatever, and it will entitle the person who gets the gift for a subscription for the length of time that you want it to be. And again, it comes in a little gift box. So then over lockdown, we actually brought in our book box subscription, which it can be a 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month subscription for, again, a lovely gift box with a surprise book and a surprise treat inside it. So that's kind of our new thing. So you could buy somebody a 6 month subscription, and you pick the genre that they are interested in, or you can leave it up to us to decide what kind of book that we think they would like. And once a month then they will get this box arrive in the post with a book and a little gift inside it as well, a little treat. What else? That was introduced over lockdown. So we had a lot of people take that up over lockdown, because obviously they couldn't get out to the shops, and it was a lot of people buying presents for people that they couldn't see. And also this year now we're going to try and we are going to start doing the Book Professor for adults as well. So again, you could buy this as a gift for somebody for Christmas, and if they loved, say, history and biography, for example, they would meet our book expert in that area in their local shop, and they would be able to, as part of the gift, then there would be a voucher to, the Book Professor would recommend a couple of books, and then they would choose the books they want to take home. Yeah.
That is lovely.
So they're the kind of new ideas that we're working with. So.
And I'm thinking of, like, say, my father-in-law and people that love history or local history and love the GAA and hurling, and we'd always be, or horse racing or things that that so you'd always say.
And you don't want to have to pick it yourself, and you don't want to have to deliver it, and so we sort all that out for you. Yeah, absolutely.
That is a really lovely idea, and it's about really, you've hit the nail of personalising things, because that's a big movement. For people now, you can see that anything that I research in relation to campaigns and that, people are looking at a more personalised approach. It makes it much more kind of unique, and again, extending what you do as an independent store. What do you see challenges? What do you see challenges to use now? Going forward now. I can't part where we're at.
Besides COVID. We can't see beyond that, I think, at the moment.
I don't know. Yeah.
We just want to keep our shops open and keep serving the customers and allowing people to come in and browse and buy to their heart's content, and just be able to come in over the next couple of months. We need to get all our stock in. We've a huge amount of gift stock, bits and pieces, the surprises and that for our book boxes and our book subscriptions and our Book Professors. They all, we have a lot of stuff on order that are slow at coming in because of the whole delay with COVID. So we just, we're constantly fighting that, trying to get all the products in, and we just want to make sure, our main objective now is to be able to, develop our website, of course, as well, because we're in the middle of doing that at the moment as well, because we, thank God, got the grant. But just to keep our shops open and to be able to continue to welcome people in and serve them, and, do what we do best, and give customer service and help people find what they're looking for,
Because it was interesting when I met with Catherine from Red Lane in Tramore, like another amazing woman. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
and she said, had she known, there's a website that she developed, and there's the brick and mortar. She said, like, the two businesses, the two, you know what I mean? So
totally different,
totally different operating, games. So that in itself takes huge amount of manpower, and huge amount, and the fact that thankfully you're set up for that. That's a lot, a lot on your plate, and the cost, obviously, that because you have the cost of the physical stores that you're operating, and then obviously,
Yeah.
you know, website and maintaining websites and promoting that, you know. But you know, you obviously love what you do, which is thank God, and it's in you. It's, you know, it's in your DNA. You know, your mom and dad.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's great. Yeah,
Really is.
yeah.
So, because I see we're again 32 minutes. It's this chit chatting that goes on and not that goes on. So I know I really have to time to get away from that, because the poor Ireland team. It's actually something popped up. It says Ireland, so Slovakia are playing. So come on, need to get that together. So yeah. So
I put my children to bed. So.
You're gonna have to go. You're just going to have to go now, and I'm gonna have to go to let my husband watch his football. But listen, so where can anyone that wants to, you know, follow you, is, you know, just website?
Yeah, we're the book center. Thebookcentre.ie. We are in Waterford, Wexford, Kilkenny, Barker and Jones in Nace. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Yeah, so, you know, but come in to us. Come in. We're open. We're open for business. We're very clean, very safe. We're large. You can come in and get your takeaway coffee even in some of the shops. Some of, you know, you really need a spread and chocolates. All the products are all ready, you know, and the staff are ready and raring to go there, you know. They're happy out to welcome as many customers as we can in.
Maybe you're a credit to, you know, entrepreneurs in Ireland. You really are, you know, because you're a busy family. You know, you have a busy family. Your mum, you know, you're running these shops, and I just credit to you. You're wonderful and a great example and so inspirational. You know, so we can all, you know, just, you know, we're resilient. We just keep on. We find new ways. You know, we're challenged by so much. Who thought 6 months ago that we'd be all going on Zoom and online and all the digital stuff that we have to do in front of cameras that we don't like to be?
Yeah, I know.
You know, you're great. You were brilliant.
So pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones, Nuala, the things we do, you know.
Push. Yeah. So listen, I shall say good night and thank you so much for giving me your time. For giving
Thanks,
us
Nuala. I know you're very good. Thanks a million.
Yeah, lovely
Yeah,
meeting you.
absolutely.
Take care.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye.
That was really brilliant. Thanks very much indeed. So I'm going to take myself off with my cold. Hopefully I'll recover by next Thursday. I hope you'll all join me for Meraki Meets at 7:30 Thursday evening.